Well, hello everyone. In our scripture passage for today, we will take a look at the story of Zacchaeus. And as we go through Zacchaeus' story, I want you to watch for something special. I want you to watch for something impossible that Zacchaeus did. Because in our story, Zacchaeus does something that Jesus just called impossible. So keep a lookout as we go through the main points of Zacchaeus' story to spot that impossible thing. Now, Zacchaeus had a lot of money. Do you think Jesus called that impossible? No, that's not it. People also did not like Zacchaeus because he stole their money and worked for the enemy. Did Jesus call that impossible? No, that's not it either. Then one day, Zacchaeus heard Jesus coming by. Nothing impossible about that. But there was a problem. Zacchaeus couldn't see Jesus because he was too short. So Zacchaeus climbed a tree so that he could see Jesus. I know that Jesus never called that impossible because my kids love to climb trees any chance that they get. Then Jesus invited himself over to dinner at Zacchaeus' house. And at dinner, Zacchaeus said that he wanted to do something generous to say that he was sorry. He wanted to give away half of his possessions and pay back 4 times the amount that he stole. Did Jesus call that impossible? Well, almost, but not quite. Jesus likes it when we do something generous and say sorry, but he does not call that impossible. So what does Jesus call impossible then? Well, we might have trouble seeing it, but the impossible thing that happened when God changed Zacchaeus' heart. You see, just a little bit before the story of Zacchaeus, Jesus called it impossible for a rich person to enter the kingdom of heaven. In fact, it could only become possible if God made it possible. You see, when we think of impossible things, we normally think of things that we see in the movies. We think of things like flying or turning invisible or lifting up a car. But just like those things are impossible, changing our hearts on our own is just as impossible. Once we make money or power or things that we want the most important things in our lives, it's like we dig a hole for ourselves that we cannot climb out of on our own. Money and power remain the most important things to us, and the hole only gets bigger. That happened to Zacchaeus. He made money the most important thing in his life for a long time, and it did not look like that would ever change. But then Jesus came and Jesus did the impossible. He changed Zacchaeus' heart. And now instead of loving money and himself, Zacchaeus loved God and others. And when loving God and others became the most important thing for him, it changed how Zacchaeus lived. And we see it in his generosity and in his willingness to say sorry and to fix the bad things that he had done. And Jesus can change our hearts and the way that we live too. He can do the impossible for us. And I hope that helps you to understand our scripture passage just a little bit better. Goodbye, everyone.